Welcome to Men's Health 365. Today we're exploring one of nature's most powerful foods for men over 60, nuts. But here's what most people don't know. Not all nuts are created equal. Some can dramatically improve your health, while others might be undermining your vitality without you even realizing it. If you're watching this video, hit that subscribe button right now. We share evidence-based health strategies specifically for men over 60 every single week. Also, drop a comment below telling us which country you're watching from. We love seeing our global community grow. Let me share Robert's story. Robert is a 72-year-old retired engineer from Manchester, England. 2 years ago, Robert struggled with brain fog, low energy, and what he described as feeling mentally sluggish. His doctor ran tests. Everything came back normal. Cholesterol was slightly elevated but manageable. Blood pressure was controlled with medication, but Robert knew something was off. He couldn't focus like he used to. Reading technical journals that once captivated him now felt exhausting. Then Robert made a simple change. He started eating a specific combination of nuts every single day. Within 6 weeks, his mental clarity improved dramatically. Within 3 months, his cholesterol dropped 23 points without changing his medication. His cardiologist was surprised. Today, at 72, Robert says his mind feels sharper than it did at 65. He's back to reading complex engineering papers and even consulting part-time. What did Robert do? He incorporated 4 specific nuts into his daily routine while eliminating 3 common types that were secretly causing inflammation. We'll cover exactly which ones in this video. Let's start with the must-haves. The first nut every man over 60 should eat regularly is walnuts. Walnuts are unique because they contain the highest amount of omega-3 fatty acids of any nut. Specifically, they provide alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, which your body converts into EPA and DHA. These are the same beneficial fats found in fish oil. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition in 2021 followed over 3,000 men aged 60 to 80 for 5 years. Men who consumed walnuts at least 3 times per week showed a 32% reduction in cognitive decline compared to men who rarely ate nuts. That's significant. The researchers attributed this to walnuts' anti-inflammatory properties and their ability to improve blood flow to the brain. The American Heart Association published research in 2019 showing that men who ate 1 ounce of walnuts daily, about 7 whole walnuts, reduced their LDL cholesterol by an average of 5% within just 6 weeks. For men over 60, this matters tremendously. Lower LDL means reduced risk of heart attack and stroke. Walnuts also contain polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that combat oxidative stress. As we age, oxidative stress accelerates cellular damage. Think of it as rust forming inside your body. Walnuts help slow this process. They support arterial health, reduce inflammation in blood vessels, and improve endothelial function. That's the lining of your arteries. When that lining works properly, your blood pressure stays more stable and your heart doesn't have to work as hard. How should you eat walnuts? Raw or lightly toasted. Avoid candied or honey-roasted versions. Those added sugars negate many of the benefits. You can add walnuts to oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or simply eat them as a mid-morning snack. 1 ounce daily is the target. That's about a small handful. Some men worry about the calorie content. Yes, walnuts are calorie-dense. 1 ounce contains approximately 185 calories. But research shows that people who eat nuts regularly don't gain more weight than those who avoid nuts. Why? Because nuts are incredibly satiating. They keep you full longer, which often means you eat less at your next meal. The second must-have nut is almonds. Almonds are exceptional for bone health, something critically important for men over 60. Osteoporosis isn't just a women's issue. Men lose bone density as testosterone declines with age. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism from 2018 found that men over 60 who consumed magnesium-rich foods, including almonds, maintained significantly better bone mineral density than men with low magnesium intake. Almonds are packed with magnesium, calcium, and phosphorus. All three minerals are essential for bone strength. 1 ounce of almonds provides 76 milligrams of magnesium. That's about 20% of your daily requirement. Magnesium also plays a crucial role in heart rhythm regulation and blood pressure control. The Harvard School of Public Health analyzed data from over 42,000 men and found that those with the highest magnesium intake had a 47% lower risk of sudden cardiac death compared to those with the lowest intake. That's a profound difference. Almonds also contain vitamin E, a fat-soluble antioxidant that protects cell membranes from damage. Vitamin E supports immune function, which naturally declines after age 60. Research published in JAMA in 2020 showed that men over 65 who maintained adequate vitamin E levels through diet, not supplements, had better immune responses to infections compared to men with low vitamin E. 1 ounce of almonds provides 7.3 milligrams of vitamin E, nearly half of your daily requirement. Almonds also help regulate blood sugar. A study in Metabolism Journal from 2017 found that men who ate almonds with a high carbohydrate meal experienced significantly smaller blood sugar spikes compared to men who didn't eat almonds. This matters for preventing type 2 diabetes and managing existing diabetes. How should you eat almonds? Raw, unsalted is best. You can also find almond butter, but check the label carefully. Many brands add sugar, palm oil, or hydrogenated fats. Pure almond butter should contain only almonds, maybe a touch of salt. 1 ounce of almonds is about 23 nuts. You can eat them alone, slice them onto salads, or blend them into smoothies. Some men soak almonds overnight before eating them. Soaking removes phytic acid, a compound that can interfere with mineral absorption. This step isn't necessary, but some find soaked almonds easier to digest. The third must-have is pistachios. Pistachios offer unique benefits for vascular health and sexual function. Yes, sexual function. Let me explain the science. Pistachios are rich in the amino acid arginine. Your body converts arginine into nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation. Better circulation means better blood flow everywhere, including the pelvic region. A study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research in 2011 examined men aged 30 to 55 with erectile dysfunction. Men who ate 100 grams of pistachios daily, about 3 ounces for 3 weeks, showed significant improvement in erectile function scores. Their cholesterol levels also improved, and ultrasound measurements showed better blood flow in the penile arteries. Now, that study used a higher amount than I'd typically recommend for daily consumption. But the principle holds. Pistachios support vascular health. A follow-up study from the Journal of Gerontology in 2016 specifically looked at men over 60. Men who consumed pistachios regularly showed improved endothelial function, meaning their blood vessels responded better to changes in demand. This translates to better circulation, lower blood pressure, and improved heart health. Pistachios also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that concentrate in the eyes. These compounds protect against age-related macular degeneration and cataracts, both major concerns for men over 60. Research from the American Academy of Ophthalmology shows that men who consume foods rich in lutein and zeaxanthin have up to a 40% lower risk of developing advanced macular degeneration. Pistachios also provide fiber. 1 ounce contains 3 grams of fiber, which supports digestive health and helps maintain stable blood sugar levels. How should you eat pistachios? Buy them in the shell when possible. The act of shelling them slows down your eating, which helps with portion control. Choose unsalted or lightly salted versions. Heavily salted pistachios can contribute to high blood pressure, especially if you're salt sensitive. 1 ounce, about 49 kernels, is the recommended serving. The fourth must-have nut is pecans. Pecans are often overlooked, but they're nutritional powerhouses for men over 60. Pecans contain more flavonoids than any other tree nut. Flavonoids are plant compounds with potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. A study in the Journal of Nutrition from 2018 found that men who consumed pecans regularly had significantly lower levels of inflammatory markers, particularly C-reactive protein and interleukin-6. Chronic inflammation is linked to virtually every age-related disease: heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, arthritis. Reducing inflammation is one of the most important things you can do for longevity. Pecans are also excellent for prostate health. They contain beta-sitosterol, a plant sterol that supports healthy prostate function. Research published in the British Journal of Urology in 2017 showed that men with benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, who consumed foods rich in beta-sitosterol experienced improved urinary flow and reduced nighttime urination. Pecans also provide zinc, a mineral crucial for testosterone production and immune function. 1 ounce of pecans provides about 1 milligram of zinc. While that's not a huge amount, every bit helps, especially since zinc deficiency is common in older men. Pecans support cholesterol management too. A study from Loma Linda University found that adding pecans to the diet reduced LDL cholesterol by 11% and improved the ratio of HDL to LDL cholesterol. This happened without any other dietary changes. Just adding pecans. How should you eat pecans? Raw or dry roasted without added oils. Avoid butter-flavored or sugar-coated pecans. Those additions eliminate the health benefits. 1 ounce of pecans is about 19 halves. You can chop them and sprinkle on yogurt, add them to salads, or eat them as a snack. Now let's talk about the missteps, the nuts you should minimize or avoid entirely. The first one might surprise you: peanuts. Technically, peanuts aren't nuts at all. They're legumes, like beans and lentils. But most people think of them as nuts, so let's address them. Peanuts pose several problems for men over 60. First, aflatoxin contamination. Aflatoxins are toxic compounds produced by mold that grows on peanuts, particularly during storage. The USDA monitors aflatoxin levels in commercial peanuts, but contamination still occurs. Long-term aflatoxin exposure is linked to liver damage and increased cancer risk. Second, peanuts are highly allergenic. Even if you've eaten peanuts your whole life without issues, allergies can develop later. More importantly, peanuts are pro-inflammatory for many people. They contain high levels of omega-6 fatty acids relative to omega-3. While omega-6 isn't inherently bad, the ratio matters. Most Western diets already contain excessive omega-6. Adding more through peanuts can tip the balance toward inflammation. Third, peanuts are often contaminated with pesticides. The Environmental Working Group frequently lists peanuts and peanut butter among foods with high pesticide residues. If you love peanuts and don't want to eliminate them completely, choose organic varieties and limit consumption to no more than twice per week. Better yet, replace peanuts with tree nuts like almonds or walnuts. The second misstep is oil-roasted nuts. Many commercial nuts are roasted in industrial seed oils, soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, or cottonseed oil. These oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids and are often partially oxidized during the roasting process. Oxidized oils promote inflammation and may contribute to arterial damage. When you see oil roasted on a label, it almost always means one of these cheap industrial oils. Dry roasted nuts are better, but check ingredients carefully. Some dry roasted varieties contain added sugars, maltodextrin, or corn syrup solids for flavor. Your best bet is raw nuts or nuts you roast yourself at home. You can spread raw nuts on a baking sheet and roast them at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 to 15 minutes. No added oils needed. They'll develop a rich, toasted flavor naturally. The third misstep is heavily salted nuts. Excessive sodium intake contributes to high blood pressure, fluid retention, and increased cardiovascular risk. Many commercial nut brands use shocking amounts of salt. A single serving might contain 300 milligrams of sodium or more. That's 20% of your daily limit in just 1 ounce of nuts. If you have high blood pressure or heart disease, Salted nuts can undermine your health efforts. Look for unsalted or lightly salted versions. If you find unsalted nuts too bland at first, your taste buds will adjust within a couple weeks. You'll start tasting the natural flavor of the nuts themselves, which is actually quite rich and satisfying. The fourth misstep is eating rancid nuts. Nuts contain healthy fats, but those fats can oxidize and go rancid, especially when exposed to heat, light, or air. Rancid nuts smell and taste off, slightly sour or painty. Eating rancid nuts isn't just unpleasant. It introduces free radicals into your body, promoting oxidative stress and inflammation. Store nuts properly to prevent rancidity. Keep them in airtight containers in a cool, dark place. Even better, store them in the refrigerator or freezer. Nuts can last several months when frozen without losing nutritional value. Buy smaller quantities more frequently rather than bulk buying unless you'll use them quickly or have proper storage. Always smell and taste a nut before eating it. If it smells off or tastes bitter or sour, throw it out. Don't take chances. Let's return to Robert's story, the 72-year-old from Manchester I mentioned at the beginning. Robert's daily nut routine is simple. Every morning with breakfast, he eats a mix of 7 walnut halves, 20 almonds, and about 20 pistachios. That's roughly 2 ounces total. He buys them raw and unsalted. He stores them in glass jars in his refrigerator. He eliminated peanuts entirely, switched from oil-roasted to raw nuts, and stopped buying the heavily salted cocktail mixes he used to eat while watching television. Within 6 weeks, Robert noticed his thinking felt clearer. Within 3 months, his cholesterol improved significantly. His doctor reduced one of his medications. Today, Robert credits this simple change as one of the most impactful health decisions he's made in his 70s. He says it costs him about $40 per month, less than many people spend on coffee, and the benefits have been life-changing. Now, are nuts a magic cure? Of course not. Robert also walks daily, eats a balanced diet with plenty of vegetables, stays hydrated, and maintains social connections. But adding the right nuts while eliminating the problematic ones was a cornerstone change that supported everything else. If you're over 60 and not currently eating nuts regularly, start slowly. Some people experience digestive discomfort when they suddenly increase fat and fiber intake. Begin with a ½ ounce daily for the first week. That's about 3 walnut halves and 10 almonds. Let your digestive system adjust. Then gradually increase to 1 or 2 ounces daily. Pay attention to how you feel. Most men tolerate nuts extremely well, but individual responses vary. If you're on blood-thinning medications like warfarin, talk to your doctor before significantly increasing nut consumption. Nuts contain vitamin K, which can affect blood clotting. Your doctor might need to adjust your dosage. If you have diverticulitis or other digestive conditions, consult your physician. Some doctors advise avoiding nuts during flare-ups, although recent research suggests nuts don't actually cause diverticulitis problems as once thought. Before we wrap up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're building a community of men over 60 who want evidence-based health information without the hype. And drop a comment below telling us which country you're watching from. It helps us understand our global audience and create content that serves you better. To summarize today's essential information, the 4 must-have nuts are walnuts for brain and heart health, almonds for bones and blood sugar, pistachios for circulation and vascular health, and pecans for inflammation reduction and prostate support. The missteps to avoid are peanuts due to aflatoxin and inflammation concerns, oil-roasted nuts because of industrial seed oils, heavily salted nuts that raise blood pressure, and rancid nuts that promote oxidative stress. 1 to 2 ounces of the right nuts daily can dramatically improve your health after 60. Robert's story proves it's never too late to make meaningful changes. Thank you for watching Men's Health 365. We'll see you in the next video with more evidence-based strategies for men over 60.